Hey, what's up? This is Václav here. Today I'd like to show you a very cool device. It's a thermostat for electric floor heating made by Aqara. I got this unit from SmarterHOME.SK. I asked them to send me one because I like it very much. It's beautiful. It has a very simple, intuitive, but functional design, much different than the thermostat that I currently use. And on the box, there are labels promising support for Home Assistant, Matter, and number of other applications. I received the box a couple of months ago, but I was struggling with it, to be honest. Mainly because I'm stubborn. I didn't want to respect the instructions. The installation should be very simple. If you have one of the Aqara Hubs, that is. Just open the Aqara application, scan the QR code. There you can switch between Thread and Aqara Zigbee. It will configure the device and add it to your network, and that's it. But I don't have Aqara Hub and I don't want to have one. I think it should be able to register it in my Zigbee network without the Aqara application. But for Zigbee, they say very clearly on the box that the Aqara Hub is required. So naturally, I had a bit of trouble with it. But at the end, I won. I managed to add it to my Zigbee to MQTT network without the hub. But it wasn't an instant victory. When I got the device, it was pretty new, and Zigbee to MQTT didn't recognize it. It discovered that, but it didn't do anything. So I got busy with other things in the meantime. And now over the Christmas, I decided to revisit it. And indeed, it works beautifully. Way! And it's really a great device, as you will see shortly. I also tried to edit over Thread, but I didn't manage to do that. But that's probably because I have some general issue with my Thread border router. I spent like a day trying to fix it, but then I decided to leave it for another video, otherwise I would never finish this one. So let me walk you through the setup. So the device supports Zigbee and Thread. We already said it multiple times, but not at the same time. You can switch between the two. When you power it on, there's a small network icon blinking on the right top corner that shows in what mode it is currently set. If the icon has 2 bars, it is Zigbee. If it has 4 bars, it is Thread. I want to use Zigbee, so if it had 2 bars, I could just add it to Zigbee to MQTT right away. But mine was set to Thread, so I had to switch it to Zigbee first. And for that, I had to use the Aqara application. So I installed it, started, and it discovered the device and asked me whether I want to edit using Thread or Zigbee. And it confirmed that it's currently set to Thread. So I click on Zigbee and it reconfigured that, or rather basically downloaded a Zigbee firmware on it. After that, it asked me to edit to the network, and for that it needed Aqara Hub. And this is where I ended. I don't have one, so it asked me to add one first, and it asked me which one, and it won't let me continue without a hub. So this is where it ends, so I just close the app. Then I head to Home Assistant and open Zigbee to MQTT, and I enable pairing. And voila, it will discover the device and add it to the Zigbee network. Now let's see how it works. I see the device is natively supported, and if I go to the exposed entities, I see a number of parameters and settings, and these should be also available through the MQTT in Home Assistant device. So let's rename the device to something meaningful, and then go back to the Home Assistant device page to see what we've got. There are a number of settings in here. Most importantly, I can set up whether it uses external temperature sensor that is usually in the floor with the floor heating, or whether to use the internal sensor. They included the sensor with the device, but I already had a sensor in the floor under the tiles. But I made a terrible mistake during the testing and I killed it, I burned it. So I don't have one anymore. And there is no way to replace it unless I redo the tiles, which I'm not going to do. I probably damage the heating and the tiles, and I don't have spare ones. They are the same, so I will just switch that to the internal. Then it has two modes, off and heat. And there's also target temperature. When the mode is in heat and the current temperature is below the target, it will connect the relay and turn on the heating. And once the temperature reaches the target, it will stop heating. Simple. I can also control it from the display. I can use the plus on top and minus on the bottom to set the target temperature. And if I hold the middle button, it will switch between the heat and the off mode. And simply clicking the middle button will turn on the display. And finally, holding both the plus and minus button will activate the child lock. As I said, very simple, functional, intuitive. And the display is clear as well. I just love it. Now, let me show you the automations I made with it. I don't want the floor heating to run all the time. I'd like it to run, let's say, for 3 hours. So I created a timer and an automation that will start the timer when the thermostat mode changes to heat. And when the timer is finished, it will turn off the heating. Very simple. I also use timers for other things like ventilators, though they have much shorter time. The beauty of the timers is they remember the state even if I restart Home Assistant. So when this happens, the timers will continue after the restart and the heating will be turned off. The other beauty is it does not matter how I turn on the heating. When I do it from the thermostat or from Home Assistant dashboard or from automation, it will always work the same. So I obviously have the thermostat on the dashboard, but I also have an automation that turns it on automatically, but not always. It is an ensuite bathroom in a guest room, and I only run it when we have guests. The way I have my Home Assistant set up is I have different modes. In fact, I have two mode selectors. There is a heating mode with winter and summer. And there is a general house mode with guests, vacation, and normal automatic mode. And I use combination of those two modes in many automations. For example, in the guest mode, I tune down some automations like turning off the lights automatically, so it behaves more like a normal house, not a smart house. And in a vacation mode, during the winter, it lowers the temperature and it also sets the security into a more strict mode. And I use the same modes for the floor heating. So the automation is triggered at 6 AM and 8 PM. And if the house is in the guest mode and it's winter mode, its heating is on, it will start heating. And then it will be turned off by the timer. That one doesn't care about the mode. When the timer is finished, the heating will finish. I also have another automation that starts the ventilator when the light is on and the humidity increases significantly. So basically when someone is taking a shower. I do not start the heating there as it takes a long time to heat the floor anyway. And there is a leather heater in the room, which by the way also has a TRV, where I also increase the temperature automatically in the guest mode. But that one only works in the winter, so if I have a problem with humidity during the summer, I might add the floor heating to the ventilator automation as well. So this was Aqara W500. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.